Who doesn't love puzzle games? They're fun, they're addicting, and help stimulate your mind, which is one of the many reasons why video games are good. Even though they have their own genre, they might just sneak their way into other genres such as RPGs, survival horrors, and the occasional platformer.
The one game that any of us are familiar with, and was that you grew up with, is Tetris. Or if you're like me and you grew up with Sega, chance to name off them with columns. But you know there's actually another puzzle game at the time that was popular in Japan.
This game was called Puyo Puyo, or Puyo Pop as it's more commonly known, and it offered a different style on puzzle games. I know what many of you are thinking, I'm sure I played that game before, but it wasn't called Puyo Pop. Well, you're right, a version of it was released outside Japan. It was called Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. Plus, there was another version of Super Nintendo called Kirby's Ghost Trap. What annoys me about this is that these games are part of a franchise that will most likely never get to play, because no other Puyo Pop game was released outside of Japan. Plus, these two games were exactly the same game, so this one game is all we get. Well, it was until 2002 when Sega released Puyo Pop, known as Mina de Puyo Puyo in Japan, for the Game Boy Advance, and Puyo Pop Fever in 2004 for Nintendo GameCube, PlayStation 2, and basically every other console that exists.
Now the game I'm going to focus on is Puyo Pop Fever for Nintendo GameCube. But I've got to point something out. Aside from the graphics, controls and that, this game is different to its predecessors.
Being the fifth installment to the Puyo Puyo series, Sonic Team, yes, Sonic Team, began this project to keep the series alive, but redesigning the entire package into something of its own, adding new features and new cast of characters and gameplay elements along the way. Compile, the original creator of the Puyo Puyo series, played no part in the creation of this game, as they got bankrupt prior to release of Puyo Puyo to the GBA.
Now, despite their absence, it doesn't hurt the game in any way. But with that out of the way, let's start playing.
The basic game mechanics are similar to those of previous Puyo Pop games. The player has a 6x12 board and must decide where to place the oncoming groups of Puyo. After placing each set of Puyo, any groups of 4 or more of the same colour Puyo will pop.
You pop the Puyo, Puyo, pop. Let's continue.
Any Puyo above will fall down and can form more groups for a chain reaction. Each time groups of Puyo pop, the player will score points and, more importantly, send nuisance Puyo or trash to their opponent.
Yeah, try clearing that lot up. Oh, what? You knew that was coming.
These trash Puyo are colourless and will only pop when Puyo next to them do so, rather than groups as normal. When the board fills up, if you cannot make groups or if you're sent a large amount of trash Puyo, which is usually the case, you lose and the other player will win.
Can't argue with that. It seems like the basic rules of any other puzzle games like Tetris, Bejeweled or Columns, but twist it around to make it something new and challenging. And as for new features, this is one of them.
The Fever mode. Fever mode occurs when the bar in the middle of the screen is filled up. To fill the bar, one must counter-attack the trash Puyo being sent to them by the opponent. Every chain, which is a single pop in a Puyo, will fill one space in the Fever meter until it is full, which is when Fever activates. In Fever mode, a pre-designed chain will fall onto an empty field. In a limited amount of time, you must find a trigger point within the puzzle, which will cause a large chain to go off and attack the opponent. Once the chain is made, another puzzle falls, bigger and more complicated than the previous one. This keeps occurring until the time runs out, then it returns to the original field.
And that's all you need to know. The explanation alone describes the basic rules of Puyo Pop Fever, and why puzzle games do give your mind one hell of a workout. But there's one thing that all puzzle games can go without. The story.
Yes, Puyo Pop Fever has a story mode. Well, 3. Run Run, Waku Waku and Hara Hara. Run Run is basically a tutorial for people new to Puyo Pop, which is most of us. And Waku Waku and Hara Hara have the same story where your teacher, Miss Accord, has lost her flying cane.
Flying cane? Well, no wonder she lost the damn thing.
You play as Amity in the Run Run and Waku Waku stories, and Rafine in Hara Hara.
And use the phrase play as loosely, because you're not controlling the characters, you're controlling the Puyo.
It's like designing your own character in Saints Row 2 or Fallout 3. Sure, it'll look different to everyone else's, but you're essentially doing the same thing, just with different strategy.
Let's move on to the most important part of all puzzle games, the multiplayer, and Puyo Pop Fever is no exception. Now, I've got someone to help me out with this. I've been found for dragging out of retirement. Literally.
What the hell? Jesus Christ, Dad, what are you doing to me?
What, Blake?
What?
Blake?
What are you trying? I'm not playing anything.
Will you please play Puyo Pop Fever with me?
No, Dan. I stopped playing games ages ago. It was hard enough making that decision, and now I've got to be forced into it? You are out of your spell, mate. I am not reviewing anything else. And I am not gonna... No! Don't do that! Don't! I'll play! I promise, I'll play.
Good. You bastard! Thank you.
And the multiplayer is fun, no questions there. But I must point out that the DS and PSP versions of Puyo Pop Fever can have up to 4 or 8 players, instead of the standard 2-player.
Do you have to review it while we're playing?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Also, like some puzzle games, there is an endless mode, which includes Standard, Mission, and Fever. Back to me in VG Retro.
I'm better than I thought I was! I beat that at something! This is just brilliant!
Now some of you may be thinking, is there a sequel to this or any of the Puyo Pop games? The answer is, yes. Yes there is. But only in Japan. Puyo Pop Fever 2 was released in November 2005. Apparently uses a map system instead of a menu, and in story mode you can set between 3 characters, Amity, Rafine, and a new character called Sig. Also the graphics and character animations have improved. Other Puyo Pop games include Puyo Pop 15th Anniversary and Puyo Puyo 7. Both games combine gameplay modes of Puyo Pop 2 and Puyo Pop Fever, as well as a set of new ones for each game.
Well, getting back on topic, what are my final thoughts on Puyo Pop Fever?
I've played better!
Oh!
Well, he is right. There are many other puzzle games that rival Puyo Pop Fever, Tetris being the main competitor. Plus, it's a game you expect on a handheld instead of a home console with a small amount of content. But for what it's worth, Puyo Pop Fever is a fun game to play now and again between big name titles, or for spare time. The colours are vibrant, the gameplay is solid, and like I said, the multiplayer is as good as any other.
All in all, Puyo Pop Fever is a good game, no matter what console you have it for, be it on GameCube or PSP.
I rate this game 7.2 out of 10.
No, excuse me, it's something for these headaches.
You're a sore loser, do you know that? Oh, God! Dad, why do you have to keep shooting at me? Jeez! I mean, I only came home and get rocket